Good morning. First of all, I've got some thank yous and apologies to make. Thank you to everybody who commented in yesterday's video on tips for securing lower priced airline tickets. This guy in particular, so much information in that comment. It pretty much told me everything I needed to know, and a lot of that I had no idea about, so thank you very much. That was really kind of you all, and I will now be changing the way I go about booking airline tickets from here on in. So that's the thank you. The apology, well, the apology is for the fact that yesterday's video was only coming through one channel, and the reason I found out was this one tiny little cable, which was the cable that plugs my external microphone into the camera. I found this cable in a drawer thinking it was the right one. Turns out it's just a mono cable, so that is going in the bin. Who needs a mono cable? So anyway, got the right cable in now. Hopefully you can hear me in both of your ears, so thank you very much. Today I'm going to talk about goals. Not that kind of goal, but the kind of goals that you set yourself, either personally or if we talk about Formula One and organisations, what kind of goals do they set themselves? Everyone's got to be constantly setting themselves targets to try and achieve goals. I do it every single day. I'm one of those people that sets myself tiny little goals sometimes, really stupid goals occasionally as well. One of my goals today was to skateboard to the pub with the dogs for lunch. I want to achieve a certain thing by a certain time, or I want to tick certain things off a list. Normally, before I go to bed the night before, I set myself a little mini list of goals just in my own mind of things I want to tick off the next day. So that's what I do. I do it all the time. Now I find that that's what I have to do to sort of motivate myself to get certain things done. If you think about a big organisation, they also have to set themselves goals. And if we bring that back towards sort of motor racing, well, a motor racing team, whether it's Formula One team or a Formula E team or whatever it might be, also has to set themselves goals. Now, the obvious goals, of course, are winning the championship, winning the race, getting the best result you can. They're the obvious, they're the most public ones, the ones we can all see, and those goals are the ones that the public generally look at motor racing and say, well, they didn't win the race, they didn't have a great result, they didn't win the championship, they failed. Well, personally, I don't quite see it like that. Having worked inside a Formula One team for so long, I'm well aware, and I'm sure many of you are too, there are thousands and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of little goals being set every day by the organisation, by the people within those organisations. And it could be tiny things, whether you're going to make a certain number of parts, start a new design project, leave work at a certain, on time. It could be all sorts of personal goals within that organisation. And of course the organisation has a whole massive range of goals as well, and they could be, bringing the next update to the car on time, or managing to achieve a 1/10 of a second per lap in updates each time they go to a new race. There's a huge amount of goals being set and ticked off and achieved. Some of those are achieved, some of those are not achieved. Many of those we will never ever get to hear or know about. Whatever your goal is in life, if you care about it enough, if it's important enough to you, it feels like winning a world championship when you achieve it. One of the goals I set myself this summer was to finish that treehouse for the kids. But as you can see, I didn't manage it. Now, it's easy to think on one hand that I failed, and on many levels I feel terrible, and I feel like I did fail. I feel like I failed. I let the kids down. I promised them that they would have this thing to play in over the summer. I didn't achieve it. But on the other hand, my overarching goal for the last 2 months or so was to make sure the kids had the best summer of their lives. And I know on that level, we as a family absolutely succeeded. So some goals perhaps have to be sacrificed to achieve others. Anyway, where this is all going, in a very long-winded way, is I was thinking about the goals of some of the current Formula One teams. And if you think about Ferrari, which is what I really kind of was thinking about at the time, what are their goals at the moment? Because the obvious one, you would say, is to set about winning both world championships. They currently have the best car, they've got two very good drivers, they're in a great position, certainly a couple of months back, even more so, to win both championships in Formula One. Are they going to do it? Not sure. And the reason we're not sure is not because they don't have the fastest car, it's not even because they don't have the most reliable car, it's not because they don't have the two best drivers. It's because they seem confused about what their goals are. The truth is, I simply didn't have time to finish the treehouse this summer because of all the other incredible things we did achieve. Creating unforgettable memories for the kids, taking them travelling. The most important objective was the one that we focused on most, and that one we absolutely ticked the box on. Are Ferrari focusing on the most important goal? I mean, take Monza, for example. Sebastian Vettel, who qualified second behind Kimi, pretty much purely as a result of the way the team approached qualifying, allowing Kimi to go out behind Seb and get that all-important toe. Seb wasn't happy about it, we know that, and I guess we can understand that. He's the only driver in that team in contention for the world title, the driver's world title. So surely all efforts at this point in the season should be focused on him. And yet they seem reluctant to actually come out and just vocally put that out there, to say that to the world, that you are the number one driver at this stage, everything will be geared up to getting him to the front and getting him to win races. The other goal, of course, is the team's championship. And to win that, they need their drivers to come in first and second. What they definitely don't need is their drivers squabbling on the first lap with Seb desperately trying to get past Kimi to get into the race lead on the first, second, third corners. So they've got the goals wrong, haven't they? If they don't sort their goals out and their priorities out, I just can't see them doing it. They need to be very, very clear about what they want from this season and how they're going to go about achieving it. They've got all the tools at their disposal to do it. Achieving your goals is all about setting them out, making sure that they are not overly optimistic, making sure they're achievable, making a plan, preparing in all the most meticulous way, and this is a goal for a Formula One team or anybody in life, making sure that the process of achieving that goal is something that's enjoyable. It should be fun, it should be an enjoyable process. Do you think Maranello is a nice place to be right now? Do you think Seb or Kimi or anybody at Ferrari are enjoying the process? Are they satisfied? And if they're not, are Ferrari getting the best out of them? So Ferrari and other Formula One teams need to set their goals. They need to go about putting a plan in place as to how they're going to achieve that. Be very, very clear on that. They need to direct their drivers and their team as to what the plan is. Stick to it, go out and get that World Championship. Because I tell you what, there's a whole country of red shirt wearing, flag waving tifosi who will be very, very annoyed, and rightly so, if Ferrari don't bring it home this year. It's their best opportunity for a while. Anyway, that was a right proper rant, wasn't it? They should have this championship, in my opinion, sewn up before the end of this season, because they've got everything at their disposal to do it, and it seems like a bit of indecision and a bit of poor planning and preparation, probably poor management, if you're really honest about it, are the reasons why they haven't managed to be in a better position than they are now. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. That is it for me this week. Until Monday, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.